Hey guys, Mike and Tori helping couples stay out of trouble. Today's topic, what to do after having a fight with your spouse. What do? You already fought and now y'all both mad and now y'all not talking to each other. What do you do? What do you do?
Other than cry and sit in the corner and eat ice cream.
Pray. You pray. That's what you... No, seriously. What you want to do is you want to take some time and digress and decompress and really do some soul searching within to see what your part of this was. Because it takes two. Can't argue by yourself. It takes two people to be in a disagreement and to have a fight. So, what was your part? You need to know what that was and how you can, moving forward, do a better job at not falling into that same trap. Because it's a trap. You know, people don't have to necessarily argue. You can have a disagreement, you can have a discourse, you can have a debate, but you don't necessarily have to fight about nothing. Just talk it through. You know what I'm saying? And so the first thing you want to do is you want to deal with self first.
For me, the important thing to do after a fight, after you evaluate where you are, is to re-engage. This is based on you knowing your spouse. If they're the type of person that needs time to air out, if they need time to decompress to themselves, honor that. But if you're able to re-engage them within a timely manner, do that. For me, the longer the span of time is, the harder it is kind of for me to dig myself out of a hole that I've created myself in my own head, in my own thoughts, in my own view of what the argument was about, what the resolve is, what it should have been. Like, these are natural human things. If he and I both are standing side by side on the street corner and see an accident, the police will interview him, they'll interview me, and they will get two totally different stories because of perspective. From his perspective in the argument, things happened because of this. Things were said and interpreted in this way, and the resolve is this. Me, a totally different set of things on those lists because of my perception. And it doesn't matter if you're the aggressor or if you are the person who's being aggressed. I don't know what that word is. But it doesn't matter which side of the argument you're on, if you're the one who was right or the one who was wrong, or if neither one of you are right or wrong. It's just a conflict or a disagreement or something you need to kind of find middle ground on. The best thing to do after you've decompressed and sorted through what your perspective of it is to re-engage so that you can say, hey, I played it back in my head. I know that I said this and I may not have meant it this way. This may have been what I meant instead. Or I want to rephrase something. A lot of times for me personally, I'm being super transparent with you guys. Even as a skilled communicator, in the heat of battle, I'm not able to release the emotion from the moment and function in my intellect. I am kind of sometimes overwhelmed and swamped by how I feel, not by what I'm actually thinking. And so as my spouse, he has to not engage me in a way that creates more feelings. He has to create more thoughts. So the words are softer. The words are not as aggressive or hitting me as hard because those things make me feel a way. He's saying what needs to be said in a way that will cause me to think, not to feel, if that makes sense for you guys. And this is all, again, a part of knowing your spouse, figuring out what their triggers are, figuring out what things make them tick, what things cause them to react in other ways. Sometimes he can say something to me and he'll say it so quietly. It makes me think you're a psycho. I would almost rather you yell that at me. But he knows that if that happens, I instantly kind of shut down.
Clam up on me, G.
Well, yeah, no, because I don't want to talk like that. And then it's like, I'm not the only one who feels that way. So if you know your spouse is that way, like, hey, the minute conflict is there, they kind of draw up, then you need to find out, well, what do I do? How do I change the temperature in the room to cause them to bloom so that we can really have a discourse about it and not just a one-way lecture or a two-way back and forth yelling match?
Knowing your partner is important for the reasons she already said. You just don't want to cause further distance. You know what I'm saying? Like, you already had a thing, and you got to know what to do with who you're with. I handle her a certain way. When I'm heated, my brain won't stop. And so it's like, I can argue. I know. I'm coming up with it.
I can do this all night.
So I just have to know who I am as well, like self, and know that, what my triggers are and, how I react when I feel this way. And is that productive? So, it's not productive for me to handle her a certain way. And so I do my best to be cognizant of that and, not be offensive or not, have her overwhelmed or it's so many different things and there's so many different people and personalities. You just have to get to know who you're with. But first, it's about knowing who you are. So
get to the root of what the argument was about, what your part in it was, how you can make a plan of action to fix whatever your part of it was, because there are times when in conflict, you cannot depend on the person you're in opposition with to know your game plan or know your strategy. You are reactive. Mm-hmm. So make sure that you have steady footing, that you are ready to make an action that is long-term healthy. It's not about winning the battle. Marriage is it's a long-term war. So there's a battle every week. But the war, if one of you loses, both of you loses.
Yeah.
So it's important that we're not going tit for tat either. We have seen it in counseling. We've seen it in real-time action. There are some couples who really get off on the back and forth. Oh, well, blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
To me, that's what it sounds like. This is somebody, even if you're as furious as you've ever been with somebody, this is somebody that you love, that you have agreed to spend the rest of your life with, that you want to build with, so why would you intentionally create such a divisive situation? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't understand. Like, these are things that you got to consider. Like, the moment you get ready to yell at your spouse, the moment you get ready to raise your voice and they're not like across the street or something, like if they're right there in the house with you, right in the same room, in the same car, the moment your speaking level goes above a certain, you have escalated it. Mm-hmm. And these are small little things that you don't even understand. If you do this with the woman who hasn't grown up in the household with the father, she could shut down completely because she's not used to being disciplined by a male. As a woman, if you do it to a man who was raised by his mother, he may instantly begin to resent you because all he's ever known in his life is a woman barking at him. Mm-hmm. And so he's marrying someone to get away from that, and here you are creating the same energy. So it's like, you have to know yourself, you have to know your spouse, and you have to make a distinction on, this is a small thing, this is something that's happened today, even if it's a big thing. In the grand scope of what your life and relationship and marriage will be, this will be something that you may not remember in 10 years. Those are the things that keep me from hanging my hat on the issue sometimes. 5 years from now, will I look back on this
and even care?
And
another thing is, and I think she mentioned it, but being right is not
the flex you think it is.
It's not the flex, G. So it's, you could be right, but if your partner doesn't agree or doesn't know the right thing, an argument isn't going to convince her or him of that, right? So be cool. The emotions are already high, right? And so defenses are already up. I'm ready to go. Come on. Listen, throw in the flag. Be like, I don't want to even go here with you about this. Let's talk about it later. Let's
There's so many phrases and adages that lend validity to what we're saying. Ever heard cooler heads prevail?
Yeah.
You ever been so heated about something in the moment and just took a beat, took a minute, took a half hour, took a day, and revisited it and was like, eh.
You ever been wrong? You ever been arguing about something and you was wrong? Oh my God. That's even worse. It's even worse being so passionate about something, being so wrong. So just be cool until you can both figure it out together, because you don't want that either. You don't want to be like, remember, you was wrong about this.
The level of passion that you defended that wrong thing with, you better be ready to laugh every time I bring it up. It was like, no, he really was dead wrong.
So wrong.
But yeah.
Mike and Tori helping couples stay out of trouble. Y'all be good. Listen, subscribe,
like, share, comment, get in these comments.
All that. Yeah, do that.
Tell us what your last argument was about and why you won, ladies.
Bye.